Hey guys, down in Georgia, just walking out of Planet Fitness. They give me day passes when I come down here. I'll tell them I'm going to be here for 3 or 4 or 5 days, and they just let me work out. Incredible place. Down here in the South, ripped out of lockdown of Europe into the freedom of America. No masks. It's kind of crazy. I was reading this morning, and by the way, I'm going to offend some of you because there's a spirit of offense over America right now. And it is a spirit, and I wish that people knew the difference between just being offended and a spirit of offense. When you have a spirit attached to something, it means you can't see anything else but that, and you must prove that you're right and others are wrong. And so this spirit is dividing and destroying. It's necessary. All that's happening needs to happen. I was just working out with some Black Americans and just talking to them about everything. They were phenomenal. They helped me with all kinds of things, and just trying to enter into this space of loving people really well. But I was reading in Acts this morning about Stephen, and Stephen stood up to the religious, and he preached through Holy Spirit, called heaven down to earth, and they stoned him to death. And it's a powerful scene. Go read it, Acts 7. He steps up, he stands up, Jesus stands up. It says Jesus is seated at the right hand of God. But for Stephen's sake, as like a bridegroom, he stood up and welcomed Stephen into heaven for standing up against the religious as they stoned him to death. And it says Saul was standing there watching, who became Paul. And my question is where are the Sauls that are watching this that are going to become Pauls in this generation? And then I'm reading my same daily reading in Samuel, 2 Samuel, and Absalom, David's son, had come against him, slept with all of his wives, his concubines, and tried to destroy his own father, and gets hung in the tree by his hair, and 3 javelins by Joab are stuck through his heart. And I have a whole message about what those 3 javelins represent in a fatherless generation. But what did David do when he heard the news that his son was dead? His son, who had taken his kingdom from him, had taken his concubine from him. He wept and he mourned, and he said, "My son, my son." See, Stephen didn't care about himself if he was right. David didn't care about himself if he was right. They lived for other people. They lived for something much bigger than themselves. And when we walk in a spirit of offense, we can only walk in for ourselves, selfishness. It's about us somehow. And I believe God is shifting something in the spirit right now for us to step in and serve one another at a much deeper and needed and necessary and about time level of loving one another like we've never seen on planet Earth. And I promise you it's coming, and I promise you He's going to cover the whole earth in His glory. And there's no tribulation coming. There's no more horrible thing than this happening on the planet. We need to call heaven down to earth now, because we're God's representatives on the planet today, not trying to get out of here and escape to get to heaven one day. God bless you guys. Have a great Tuesday.